Good morning. Hello. All right. So nobody's here because my scheduled live stream was not working. So that's why I'm 10 minutes late. The technology has bedeviled me. So I will just wait for people to show up and then I can say hello, which will be lovely. Let me just go and check where everybody is. It is another beautiful day in paradise. Hello from Chiang Mai in Thailand. It's just about 7:30 in the morning, and last night we got some of the first proper rain of the season. And so that was beautiful. That just dampened everything down. It got rid of some of the smoke. It dampened down the heat. It's been so hot the last few weeks. We've had 40, 42 every day. And then last night we got this beautiful cooling downpour. So the rainy season is well on its way. And happiness, because the rainy season is such a nice time to ride in Thailand. I mean, if you're a beginner, it's a bit challenging because you're going to spend a lot of time upside down because it's really, really slippery when it rains. We have this red clay. The red clay, we call it Dinangmu, which I probably mispronounced terribly, but it's pigskin clay. So imagine riding on greasy pigskin. That's what it's like. So yeah. Anyway, it's not the best for the beginners, but if you've got a little bit of experience and you've got some decent balance and you know how to keep your traction happening, then the jungle is just magic in the rainy season. It's lush and green and beautiful, and it's not so hot. And you ride to the top of the mountain and you just see those storm clouds rolling on in. It's sensational. So yeah, I totally recommend it, and I'm so looking forward to being able to get out on the mountain again and enjoy that lush jungle. So yeah. All right. Hey, is anybody here? Did I manage to retrieve anyone from my failed stream? Not yet. Never mind. I shall go and leave them a message and see if I can fix it. Let me see. Where am I at? Yeah, so the challenge there was that it wanted me to use streaming software instead of my webcam to stream, so I don't have the streaming software set up. So I'm just going to leave a message. Please refresh. Please refresh my channel and look for the current live stream. This link is not good. All right, so forgive me for mumbling to myself for a minute there. Hey, Jerry, how you doing? I hope you're doing great. I sent Jerry a box of goodies for his CRF 300 rally the other day, and I'm vicariously excited to see the results once he's finished fitting it all up. Sent him some SRC stuff, so the skid plate, the crash bars, that sort of thing. He's got the rack. You know, SRC make quite that larger rear rack for the rally, and so you've actually got one of those Rotopack style fuel pods that sort of tucks in underneath the rack. it's quite nifty, and so I sent him one of them as well. And yeah, some extra accessories, some lights and such like. And yeah, I'm keen to see how they're gonna look. So the in terms of the lights, Jerry was telling me that on the rally, it's hard to find mounting points when, because of the rally fairings, and you've got that, you know, that big fairing, and you've got the big fairing, and you've got the big windscreen as well in the way. So on the L, you know, you can sort of just go ahead and bolt stuff to the front of your bike. You can bolt it to your handlebars. You can bolt it to your forks there. It's not so easy with the rally. So yeah, SRC actually make these brackets which go sort of across the front of your fairings on the rally, so that you can actually mount spotlights there. And so I might send a set of those to Jerry so that he can get a spotlights happening. So yeah, I seem to have found a few people. I feel sorry for the people who are stuck in the old live stream. I do apologize for that. Technical difficulties. This is not necessarily my forte, this whole streaming online thing, but it's so nice to be able to say hello and, you know, just sort of answer questions about motorbikes and talk about what's going on. So thank you for coming. Thank you to everyone who found their way over to here. I really appreciate it. And yeah, it's another day in paradise surrounded by motorbike parts. Actually, this space behind me, not yet full of motorbike parts. There's Gary. Hey, Gary, you found us. Sorry for the dead link on the other stream. Thank you for coming across over to here. Nice to see you. Oh, you're getting some rain. That's nice. Rain is good. Rain is good. Well, we got some rain too last night, and it was divine. I mean, it's not so good when you're trying to ride motorbikes, but it could be worse, you know. It could be 42 degrees, which is what we had last week. Depends if 2 months worth of rain. All right, that's a bit too much rain. I'm with you. Yeah, no, that would get old after a while. So I grew up in Australia. I grew up in sort of towards the snowy mountains to the south of Canberra, and for most of my childhood, we were just in drought the whole time. I lived on this river, and this river is spring-fed, and they always said, the old-timers always said, they said, this river never stops running. Even in the biggest drought, it never stops running because it's spring-fed from up in the mountains. And, well, during my childhood, during that drought, that river stopped running every year for about 3 years. It was really it was unusual, and it was kind of scary as well, because we were up there in the mountains and there was no other water source. So yeah, I remember very keenly waiting for rain as a child, and that sensation of joy when you hear it on the tin roof. So yeah, even to this day, when I hear rain on the roof, I sort of get this feeling of well-being, like, you know, everything's going to be all right. But yeah, you can certainly have too much of a good thing, for sure, for sure. You're in Coffs. Gary's in Coffs Harbour. So yeah, Coffs it's a bit more of a like temperate maritime climate. You get the weather systems off the sea there, so it's a bit damper on that side of the Great Dividing Range. But yeah, so I guess you're waiting to go out and ride your motorbike, and it just keeps pissing down rain, right? That's that's no good. I'm sending my condolences. Yeah. Well, we like I say, we had a little bit of rain here, and heading into the rainy season, so soon I'll be able to relate to it being raining all the time. But yeah, anyway, so let me know if anyone's got any questions, if there was anything you particularly wanted to talk about. Otherwise, I'll just keep randomly talking about motorbikes and things associated with motorbikes. Update on my knee, if anybody cares. I care. I'm very excited about this, actually. So yesterday I went and got a follow-up MRI. So you may remember I was jumping over a log in an enduro race in Cambodia some time ago. And I also then subsequently fell down the stairs, which was not very elegant. And I snapped my ACL in my right leg and I damaged my meniscus. So I had the surgery. I had surgery in Vietnam. 0 stars, do not recommend. And that was last year and at the beginning of last year. And then at the end of last year, I had to give myself another surgery for Christmas to repair my meniscus. So first there was the ACL, then there was the meniscus. It turned out that my meniscus was in several pieces. And so when I would, take a step somewhat carelessly, bits of my meniscus would get stuck in my joint and sort of stick out of place. You could sort of see it sticking out of the knee joint. There would be like this lump. It was kind of graphic. And then, I would have to sort of wedge my foot underneath a tree or like underneath the wheel of my motorbike or something and like pull backwards and twist until there was like this big clunk. And then that big clunk would be my meniscus going back into the joint where it was supposed to be, and I would carry on. But as you can imagine, this was suboptimal. I'd be riding along and my meniscus would pop out of place. So yeah, don't recommend that either. I went and I got it fixed for Christmas or just after Christmas. And now I'm well on the way to recovery. So yesterday I had my follow-up MRI. And if I understand the findings correctly, it all looks good. So everything's intact. The ACL graft is intact. The meniscus is intact. The findings were, there's some scarring in various places, as you'd expect. I had to put a few of those pieces back together again. But it's all looking intact and it feels good, and I've got full range of motion. And this is really exciting because the point of this MRI was to get the green light to really sort of exercise properly again, to regain my strength. Because up to this point, it was a case of, you don't want to put too much weight on the healing meniscus until it's actually like knitted again properly. But seeing as it's all intact, it looks like I can start, lifting some weights and really strengthening up those muscles around my knee joints so that I don't get re-injured, and so that I can go and do stupid things on enduro bikes again. So I'm so excited. So yeah, so yesterday was a good day. Today is a good day, and many good days on enduro bikes are coming up. Yesterday, also another exciting thing. I went and got a new rear shock for my KLX 230. So my suspension guy here, he's awesome. I work with him to make the fork kit, the fork upgrade kit for the KLX 230. So it's just a simple kit that we sort of, they're conventional forks, so they're really easy to work with. So you just pull them apart and we insert this, what am I going to call it? I call it a little boot, but basically it's controlling the flow of oil. So we upgrade the oil, we go to 20-weight oil, and then we put this little boot inside your fork. And depending on which size hole you line up, it's gonna give you more or less oil flow. So that's gonna allow you to stiffen up your compression and your rebound. And also that kit, it's got adjustable preload on your fork caps. So that's a really simple kit that we made ages ago for the front forks on the KLX 230, which I really like because it's, without actually swapping out your front end for, I don't know, YZ forks or whatever, you can actually stiffen them up nicely. You can stop it bottoming out. You can get a bit of adjustment in there. And yeah, it's not expensive. It's simple. It's easy. But now I have the new rear shock for the KLX 230, which I'm so excited about because it's a whole new rear shock. It's fully rebuildable. It's been made, designed, manufactured by my suspension guy. We've been working together, and yeah, it's fantastic. So yesterday I got my bike back, and so I'm not cleared to actually like ride around and, you know, jump over logs just yet. But short of jumping over logs, I went for a little bit of a fang around with this new shock, and it is nice. Like, this suspension is plush. So I got him to set it up for enduro. So I said, you know, make it nice and plush and soft for enduro, because that's the kind of riding I do. And he set it up for my weight. He set it up for my riding style. It's plush, but it's not bouncy. It's, you know, it's not going to bottom out. It's really controlled, really nice rebound, and it's plush. I love it. I'm so excited. It's got external adjustments, so you can just switch it between like soft and hard settings depending on how you're going to be riding. If you're going to be riding enduro, or you're going to be, you know, you're going to be smashing some jumps and going a bit faster. Maybe you're going through more open country and you're going to be hitting things a bit faster. You want to stiffen it up a bit. So yeah, just get your screwdriver across to the harder setting and off you go. But it'll always be set up for your weight as well. So I'm going to list it on the website and let a few people know about it, and yeah, find out their weight. So get the rider weight settings, and then we can set it up for every individual rider before we ship it out. So I'm really excited about that because I've been waiting for the upgraded shock for ages. And like I say, it's fully serviceable. It's you can rebuild the shock and everything. So it's a definite upgrade on the stock shock for the KLX 230. So yeah, that's exciting. Anyway, Jerry, you're probably bored listening to news about KLX 230s when you don't have one. But I I am excited about all of the motorcycles. So what can I say? That's where we're at. Yeah. What else? I have a new adventure planned. I'm very excited about this. So my next adventure, and why I'm so focused on getting myself up to speed again for riding enduro, is because in a couple of months I'm going to go and ride across Mongolia. So that should be fun. We've got some dirt bikes lined up, and got some got a friend who lives over there, and we're gonna get some KTM 450s. We're gonna strap our tents to the back of the bikes, and we're gonna ride across the steppes of Mongolia for about 10 days. And yeah, we'll see what we run into. We'll see where we end up. The plan is no plan. Basically, as long as we can find fuel, as long as we can find some water to filter, we will be good. So yeah, in August, watch for me eating sheep's eyeballs in a yurt in Mongolia. So yeah, that's the plan. It's gonna be good fun. What else is going on the motorbike front? Yeah, again, like if you got any questions, let me know. Can talk about whatever you want to talk about, but until then, I'll just tell you about my motorbikes. I've also gone ahead and I've put the titanium exhaust on my KLX 230. So I've got my fabricator here. He's a magician. His worlds are divine, like fish scale. I just geek out over them. They're just so nice. And he fabricates exhaust for me. So he fabricates them mostly for like KLX 230, but also for the CRF 300s. Basically, if he's got access to the bike, he can make the exhaust for it. And yeah, he makes really nice exhaust. They're a bit more open. They're dirt bike exhaust, so you're going to get a little bit more horsepower, a little bit more crisper throttle response under load, and you're going to get a bit more noise for sure. But yeah. So anyway, up to this point, I was riding around with the stainless because it's economical. But the titanium obviously is much, much lighter. And this is what, I don't know how much I should say about this, but I foolishly believed somebody a few weeks ago when they said to me, listen, I need to hire some bikes. And I said, oh, well, you can hire our fleet that we have for the tours. That's fine. And they said, oh, I need another bike. Can I hire your bike? My KLX? And I said, no, nobody else gets to fuck with my bike. It's, so KLX 230s, they're not expensive bikes. And, you might be just like, oh, it's just a KLX 230. Why are you so precious about it? But you know what? It's my bike. It's the first bike I've ever bought new in my life. And I'm the only person who gets to fuck it up, I do stupid things on that bike, but I know everything that's happened to that bike. I know how it's been treated. I know whether the clutch has been abused or not. I know how it's been shifted. I know this stuff, it's personal. Your bike is personal, and this is my bike. And so I said, no, you cannot hire it. That's out of the question. And he said to me, just so that I can ride it, just so that he can ride it, nobody else. And then I thought, okay, because this person is a very, very good rider. He's one of the best riders in Thailand. And so I know for sure if he rides my bike, it's going to come back in good condition, because he definitely knows how to ride, and he definitely take good care of it. And so I said, okay, but only you can ride my bike. Nobody else can ride my bike. Only you. Anyway, he said yes. And anyway, long story short, I found out that this was not the case. And my bike was given to some random person who then abused the hell out of it. And it came back with all sorts of damage. And I was kind of devastated. I don't know if I should have been that devastated. It's just a bike. But like I said, it's also kind of special to me. And so, yeah, I was Devo. I was absolutely Devo. And it was all damaged and fucked up. And so I set about fixing it. And yeah, at that point, I had to replace the skid plate, the hand guards, the exhaust was all fucked up. So I said, listen, I'm going to make myself feel slightly better. I'm going to not only repair this, I'm going to upgrade it. And so that's why I treated myself to a titanium exhaust as a means of consoling myself for what had been done to my poor little KLX 230. So yeah, I'm reclaiming my bike with a few upgrades this week. Moral of the story is never believe anyone, and don't let your bike out of your sight. But anyway, Hassan, how would a Tenere work for an adventure ride in Thailand or even through Mongolia? It's a heavier beast than my 450. It certainly is. The Tenere is quite a good, in terms of an adventure bike, if you want to use it off-road, the Tenere is one of the better ones. There are actually a bunch of people in Thailand here who ride them hard. They ride enduro on their Teneres, which is quite the undertaking. I'm seriously impressed by it. To me, it looks like unnecessarily hard work when you could be out there on an enduro bike having probably more fun. But, they do it. I would say the Tenere is too heavy for off-road in Thailand because the mountains, particularly in the northern Thailand, the mountains are very, very steep. Having a bike that heavy is just really going to hold you back. And you're not going to want to be out on the mountain without, 3 or 4 friends to help you pick it up again and again and again. So I wouldn't choose a Tenere for Thailand. For Mongolia is, we're talking much wider open spaces. So I think it would be a more well-adapted bike for Mongolia. Mongolia has quite a lot of sand and some pretty serious river crossings. So yeah, I wouldn't choose the Tenere. I'm happier to do Mongolia on a 450 or my 690. I'd be happy to do Mongolia on my 690. But by all means, with a bit of skill, you could definitely do it. I prefer the Tenere as I would use it more as an on-road touring bike. But that's also because I'm not that big a person. So I really noticed the height. I really noticed that the Tenere is quite top heavy as well. So which doesn't matter at all when you're on the road, but off road you do notice it. So yeah, personally, I wouldn't go for the Tenere for Thailand or Mongolia, but I can definitely see that somebody else might choose it for Mongolia. And I would probably avoid it for Thailand. For Thailand, for northern Thailand, I would either choose, if I'm going to ride on road, I'd choose a road bike. I'd choose, I don't really care about comfort. I like to have fun. So I'd be on a sports bike for on road sections because the roads here are just racetrack. It's just fantastic. And then I would also have a proper enduro bike because, like I say, these mountains are steep and you want to go and really be able to get through that gnarly stuff. So yeah, I would, and this kind of goes some way to explaining why I have so many bikes in my garage. So there's a different bike for every purpose. And when you try and get a bike to do everything, it's always going to be a compromise. So when I started out on my trip, I started out with the 690, which is, it's certainly off-road capable, but it's on the larger side. These days, my inclination is actually more to the smaller side. So I would sacrifice top speed and I would sacrifice power for the ease of being able to do gnarly stuff off-road on a smaller bike. So yeah, so that's basically my 2 cents worth on that. Yeah, that's about it. What else? Yeah, so going to Mongolia soon and going to ride the 450s. I'm super excited about that. So KTM 450s, I haven't had the chance to go nuts on a KTM 450 before. So very excited because this is obviously a much, much lighter bike than my 690, but it's going to kick like a mule. So really, really looking forward to that. It's not a brand new bike. It's going to be a few years old, but it's well maintained. I'm very appreciative. This is not like a rental bike. This is somebody's own bike, and they're lending it to me, and they're going to let me ride it and try it out on the steppes of Mongolia, and I really appreciate that. And needless to say, I will be looking after it as if it were my own, because I definitely appreciate that, it's not just a bike. Bikes, they're never just a bike, you form a relationship with them. I have a few, I have the CRS 300Ls, which we use for tours, and I'm a little more emotionally detached from them. I mean, when you destroy my radiator or something like that, I think, oh no, poor bike. But, I just buy another radiator and fix it up. But yeah, no, I certainly understand that if it's your bike, if it's your personal bike, then that's different, that's special. So yeah. I'll probably take my Moscow Moto Reckless 80, which is going to give me heaps and heaps of luggage space for. We're only going to be out for about 10 days, but the thing is, you go out for about 10 days, and you kind of need to take most of the stuff you'd need to take if you were going for 6 months anyway. With a few caveats, such as you're only going to have to pack for one sort of climatic conditions. But if you're going to take your camping gear and all of that, your camping gear, your survival gear, your tools, your spare parts, there's a certain base amount of gear that's unavoidable. So I'm going to take the Reckless 80. It's waterproof, which will be great because there's going to be plenty of river crossings. And it's rackless, so I can basically chuck it on any bike, and that will be my luggage. The Reckless 80, so the Moscow Moto, the rackless ones, they have sort of it's a harness, right? So you've got basically two twin holsters that your dry bags go into, and that's on a harness that goes over the back of your bike. And so the really great thing is if you're traveling, or even when you unpack your bike at night and take your stuff inside, you can just literally throw the holster over your shoulder and carry it like that. Up the stairs you go. And it's actually really convenient. So that's how I'll be flying. I'll probably be flying in my riding gear because I don't want to have to spend so much money on luggage. So I'll be rocking up to security in my body armor and my enduro boots with my helmet over my arm and my Moscow Moto over my shoulder. And that'll do the trick. Definitely going to be taking all my own gear. And I totally recommend that if you are going to go on an adventure somewhere, take your own gear because you don't want to be putting yourself at risk of injury by having to use gear that doesn't fit you properly, or having to use gear that, it's going to be, if it's rental gear or whatever, it's going to be a bit cheap. Good gear is expensive, and finding a good fit is important. So definitely suck up the inconvenience of flying with your gear and just do it. That's definitely my hot tip. I've never had any trouble flying with my helmet as hand luggage. I always take it as hand luggage. I don't want that being tossed around in the cargo hold. And sure, sometimes I need to strip off my knee guards to go through security and everyone gives me a funny look, but I'm quite happy to accept funny looks in the course of my life. There are many things I do that I'm sure merit them, so I've come to accept that. So it's all good. Anyway, I've been talking for a bit. Let me know if there's anything else that you'd like to chat about. Or otherwise, I might head off. I might leave you all in America to your Friday night and you all in Australia to your beautiful Saturday morning. Gary, I hope it stops raining so you can go for a ride soon. That would be that would be about time by the sounds of it. And I shall be here refurbishing and farkling my KLX 230 in anticipation of the next ride. So all right. I'm going to catch you all later. Take it easy, and thank you for coming along. All right. See you later.